always start it by giving a shout out to the Southern Amateur League, the Glemnet SAL, at Glemnet SAL on Twitter and www.southernamateurleague.co.uk, and also the Amateur Football Alliance at Amateur FA on Twitter and www.amateur-fa.com. The SAL are on Facebook as the SAL1907, facebook.com. You know what, let's go into the grassroots segment. Ibis Football Club, ibisfootballclub@gmail.com is where you need to email if you want more information on how to play for the club. Facebook.com/IBIS.FC and Twitter.com/IBIS_football at Ibis_football on Twitter, and ibisfc.co.uk is the official website. Training has actually broken for the summer, so we've kind of broken for the summer. So it's one of them ones, but matches are Saturdays. We're usually on 3:00 kickoffs now, so it's one of them ones. But some big news from the club, actually, from the very top, because Tristan Popel, as mentioned earlier in the show, Tristan Popel will be stepping down as chairman of the club. And Tristan, on behalf of me and the other captains, just like to say thank you very much for the job that you've done. You've helped me a lot this season, and it's one of them ones, man. It is one of them where we just got to salute and say thank you. But let's go into the results from the 12th of April 2014. Ibis 1's 1, HSBC 1. Big shout out to Minch, actually. And the Ibis 2's won 3-2 at home against Q Association. And the Ibis 4's, which myself and the G-Man featured in, won 2-0 against Old Actonians. I'll go into that because we actually had a midweek game as well, which was Ibis 4's v Polytechnic 7's. As them two have just buggered off. But Ibis 4's v Polytechnic 7's, Tuesday, 8th of April, we played at home. The goal scorers, it was one of them, we won 4-3, and the goal scorers were Gideon Barnett, Jordan Mills. There was actually an own goal for Polytechnic, and Han Cho scored as well. The starting lineup was Jamie JBK Bailey in goal, myself, straight shooting LJ, aka Liam Angel, at left back, Stephen Dodd at right back, Mas Resai and Joe Seabow started at centre back. We had James Soy playing left mid in front of me. We had Alex Constantinou and Ben Pierre playing in at centre mid, Nick Etty at right mid, and Gideon Barnett and Jordan Mills up top. Our subs were Rico Boyce, Saul Fitton and Han Cho. So, in terms of the match report, which was written by me this week, another crucial match in the Cup Finals that will keep us in the Miners South Division 4, and another win that will give us the same end result. An evening kickoff in a local derby with 3 big points on the line was always going to be a great battle, and this match didn't disappoint. A bit of a mismatch of a team due to the 5:45 kickoff, but we started well when we were actually 3-0 up. In the first half and cruising at one point. Complacency was the one thing I was trying to encourage against, especially as in the wide areas they were getting in behind us. But it was one of them ones, but the back line stayed strong. For the first 3 goals, Polly actually couldn't live with us when we were getting the ball down and exploiting the wide areas. And also through the middle when Alex was getting on the ball and running at Polly. Bear in mind, we owed Polly after the heavy defeat earlier in the season that we received at their ground with 9 men. The G-Man will remember that as well, and so will actually Gideon and Jordan, who also played in that match. It's one of them, was that 13-2 was traumatic, to say the least. But it was one of them ones. But I wanted us to actually get more goals. But when we ended up 3-0 to the good, I was over the moon after Gideon, Jordan, and an own goal, which Jordan was actually claiming, even though it came off the Poly player's back, had given us a firm advantage. Second half, we sat back and we did invite a lot of pressure onto us, and Poly could smell blood in the water as they started committing more men forward, as they had nothing to lose at 3-0 down. They did end up starting to overrun our midfield, and every ball we were winning easily in the first half, they began to win in the second half. And they did end up getting 3 goals back. during this half, I actually did bring on all 3 subs, and to get a bit more bite, I actually, in the midfield, I actually switched Maz Resai into centre mid, brought on Saul Fitton to drop in at centre back as well, to partner Joe Seabow at centre back. I put Rico at right mid and Han Cho right up top. But then I had to switch that over and put Rico up top and Han at right midfield. Even though we conceded 3 in the second half, we had good spells of play, but it was Han who got the last goal, which was actually a cool and calm finish, coming from the right-hand side, and that proved to be crucial and ended up giving us the win. And made a midweek game a relief and a brilliant game, with another crucial 3 points to close the gap on West Wickham and Old Wilsonians, who we actually have a double header coming up against soon. I'm straight shooting LJA, and that was my take on that match. So it was the Ibis 4s 4, Polytechnic 7s 3. Now it's one of them ones where we also had a Saturday game as well. So I've actually played 3 games in 8 days. Finding a bit of form, mate. We've got 3 wins on the bounce. We got 3 wins on the bounce now. But it was one of them ones where the Ibis 4s hosted Old Actonian 7s, and we won 2-0. The goal scorers, there was an Old Actonian's own goal, which was hilarious. It was kind of similar to the own goal that was scored on Saturday. Yeah, it was hilarious. I'm glad you came in at that time. It was hilarious because it was basically very, very similar to an own goal I actually scored a couple seasons back away in a cup match against in Hayes. So it was actually very similar to that, where it's like, oh God, how has he done that? But the first goal was an own goal, and the second goal was actually my goal. First time in 7 years since I joined Ibis in early 2007. First time in 7 years I've actually scored at the right end, and also it's actually stood, because the last goal I scored got disallowed. But it was one of them ones where I did not know what to do when I scored. It was just yes, bang. I ended up doing the DDP bang as well. It was one of them, I didn't have a clue what to do.
He was ecstatic.
I didn't expect it. But Jordan's corner was superb. It was one of them ones. Jumped, headed in from about 6-8 yards out. Top left-hand corner. It was one of them.
You know what? You're missing out the most important thing about that goal. The most important thing about that was what you did before it. How you put your opponents off. How you scared them.
Basically, what I tend to do when I'm waiting for the corner to come in. Randy Savage, the Macho Man Randy Savage, used to be doing all that doing that. He used to just do the twirl around and then the point. And I basically do that. I basically do the Macho Man Randy Savage entrance when I'm waiting for a corner to come in. But it's actually just a put-off tactic. Yeah. So that people think, what the hell is he doing?
See, that's what I'm saying. Me and Rico was sitting on the sidelines, and we just see you rolling up like the Rock, Stone Cold at first, yeah. Your legendary walk here, and then
I try and creep in at the back post.
Then all of a sudden,
creeping in at the back post.
We started doing this thing in the air like this, and it was like, okay, we just looked at each other and goes, what the hell? And then we see their defenders looking at, thinking, like, who's picking up this guy? I don't think I really want to pick up this guy, you know.
This was dope, man. It was one of them ones, because it's one of them ones. That's like, I know. For me, it's just one of them ones. It's all a tactic.
Hey, I'm not taking credit. It was a great goal, so to put us 2-0 up.
It's all a tactic. It's just legitimately a tactic where it doesn't usually work, but it did this time. It seemed to this time. So it was tremendous. It was tremendous, and I said it was one of them ones. I said it was one of them ones. First goal in 7 years. So it's I was happy that it was actually at the right end. I was actually happy about that. So it was one of them ones. I said I was just. I was ecstatic. I said I didn't even know what to do when I scored. So it was my God, yes. it was just one of them, man. But I gotta say it was just absolutely a fantastic feeling. So I just enjoyed it, man. I just really enjoyed it. But you know what? We do have a match report actually. But our starting lineup was Chris Innard in goal, myself at left back. We had Joe Seabow and David Sabo at centre back, Stephen Dodd at right back, Alex Larfon and Ash Farrell at centre mid, Callum Mayfield in front of me at left mid, Pete Snell at right mid in front of Stephen Dodd, and Andrew Williams and Jordan Mills up top, with our subs being Gavin Henry and Rico Boyce. Originally it was Nicetti, but then the twos had to take him. But this match report is actually done by Callum Mayfield, one of my teammates. Following an important win in our midweek fixture on Tuesday and an impressive performance in last week's twos game, it was important that we kept the momentum going and picked up another result in our battle to avoid the drop. Our opponents this week were Old Actonians, who are sitting second in the league, making this a challenging game on paper. Nevertheless, we fielded a strong side with the majority of last week's team taken to the field and some able replacements coming to fill in the gaps. The game started well with both teams aiming to get the ball down and play. However, we settled more quickly and we were soon playing some nice stuff, using a combination of width and quick breaks to threaten their goal more than once. Our attacking intent paid off midway through the first half, with the ball being well worked out from the back and a break emerging down the right hand side. The ball eventually came to Pete Snell, who fired in a dangerous ball across the box. Despite no Ibis players getting on the end of it, their centre-back contrived to shin his clearance over their keeper and into the far corner of the goal in true comedy own goal style, putting us into the lead, although very much with the run of play up until that point. We soon followed this up with a sustained period of attacking play resulted in a corner from the left. Jordan played a great ball right into the heart of the box, and Captain Liam rose highest, or at least he got there first, to power home a header from 6 yards out and get his name on the score sheet for the first time in a while. Possibly years. No one was really sure or bothered. I'm sure he could tell you exactly how long it's been. 7 years. 7 years I've been waiting to score. But the important thing was that we'd given ourselves some breathing space. The second half was scrappier than the first had been, with the opposition increasingly pushing forward as they attempted to reduce the deficit, while we were more content to defend our lead and try and hit them on the counter. We kept it tight at the back and reduced them to a few speculative efforts from outside the box. As we entered the final 15 minutes, the game became more stretched, but they failed to take their chances when they arrived, mostly due to some excellent work by Chris between the sticks, or Big C as I was calling him. It's what them was. Or Big Chris, Big C. I was kind of bouncing between those two names. But it was one of them. Was a couple of sharp saves at his near post were followed up by a full stretch tip around the far post from a decent curling effort. Although we spent the latter part of the game defending, we succeeded in closing it out and securing the 3 points, taking us off the bottom of the league. With several games in hand over the teams around us, we now have a great chance of survival and also have our destiny in our own hands. So let's make it happen. And that match report was by Callum Mayfield. And you know what? It was one of them ones. Just like Liverpool, Ibis's destiny is in our own hands. The Four's destiny is in our own hands, and I'm glad to say. But you know what? Russ Werner has asked, can I play wing back? I'm not fit enough to play as a wing back. I'm a left back, but it's one of them was Jamie Bailey's seen how I play, and the G-Man's seen a lot of how I play. I'm very defensive minded. So it's one of them was me scoring was even more of a oddity because of that reason. But I'm nowhere near fit enough to play wing back. But it's one of them ones where those 2 wins, we've leapfrogged West Wickham, and we have about I think 4 games in hand over them. And we have I think 2 or 3 games in hand over West Wickham. Over Old Wilsonians, who are directly above us. Plus, we have to play Old Wilsonians in a double header. So that might end up as the last game of the season. It's either that or HSBC away. But I clattered the ball away. If in doubt, get it out. But it is one of them ones where our destiny's in our own hands. I mean, we talk about 4 or 5 cup finals for Liverpool. It's the same with us. Similar to Notts County. They're giving themselves a real chance. Fulham. I mean, I would liken the Ibis Force to Fulham, whereby we were bottom at Christmas, but we've given ourselves a real chance of survival. So it's one of them, man. Like, it's just the last 3 games especially. It's the effort and the performances. It's all started to really come together. And we've started getting these wins at an important time in the season as well. So the last two games in terms of 6 points for the Fours has been fantastic. And those 6 points have really given us that impetus to carry on and start getting more points. I think we'll win the next 3. I think there's no reason why if we keep playing the way we are, there's no reason why we won't end up mid-table. So it's one of them ones. And of course, Gavin and Rico got on. Gav came on at right mid and Rico up top. And I've got to say, some of the pressure that you were exerting helped take a bit of the heat off the defense as well, which is why I was like, get up on him. Same with Rico as well, trying to get him to just get up on him. So it was one of them ones where at one point I did ask Alex and Ash to hang back because they were both getting forward throughout the match, but I asked them to kind of hold back because it was one of them was I didn't want us to get overrun in midfield. But I think Old Etonians, if they had exposed me more at left back, because I took myself off at one point and then I came on and then I had to come back on because David Sabo got, I think it was cramp in his calf. So it was a case of I came back on. Stephen Dodd went at centre back alongside Joe. I came back on at left back. For a bit, we had Pete Snell at left back when I came off, but then he switched back to right back. So it was a bit mad.
Well, I've got to say as well, from the sidelines when we was looking at me and Rico especially, there was this guy up front for the Actonians called Joshua.
What, the tall dude?
No, little small black guy. Joshua.
Yeah.
And we had a running joke because every time he got the ball, he just didn't look like he wanted it. It's like,
little black fella.
Yeah. So it's like he'd be through a goal and he'd be like, yeah, he doesn't want it, and he'll mess up and he'll be like, he'll get on the left hand side. Was it the left hand side? Well, his left.
Yeah,
you're right. And it was like he had the. You know, if he was a different type of player, he had the beating of the right back. But it was like
Stephen Dodd, who's been recovering.
You just knew the way he looked dejected, and it was like, yeah, he didn't want it. And for Actonians, like in the first half, that's, you know, the sort of pressure Ibis were putting on them. You know, being that there is a bit of history this season, being that we lost in the cup to one of their. I don't know if it was a higher one of their sides.
It was one of their sides. I think it was their 6.
Yeah, and being that we played them earlier on in the season as well, and lost tightly to them 4-3 or 4-0. I can't remember.
It was a mad game. It was absolutely crazy.
But it was like, they just didn't look the same team to me. To be honest, it looked like a game that, you know, we really bossed.
But they were second in the league as well, and I looked at that and thought, nah, you know what? Whatever team we face, it's a scout. I'm not concerned with league position.
But that's it.
Even South Bank, who were top, when they were top and flying earlier in the season, we were actually unlucky.
Because I asked their manager, and I thought they were ribbing. Like I thought, when I said, like, because we went 2-0 up after your header, and it was like, hey mate, where are you in the league? Yeah, and he was like, yeah, we're second. And you know, I thought they were ribbing, and they were like, where are you? We goes, we're bottom. And then they just looked like, they gasped, like, but I think they already knew that anyway. But I think they had to put the reaction on. You know, one of those ones where you have to put the reaction like you didn't know to make it look less worse, because, you know, you really truthfully, when you look at the table, you don't want to be losing at the teams at the bottom.
No, I mean, no.
Great victory for us.
Definitely. It is one of them ones where like it's another crucial win. I mean, we've got games in hand over everyone above us. We got games in hand over the teams below us, but we need to make sure we get those points. And we actually play over the Easter weekend as well. So we play on Saturday. So it's one of them ones. It's gonna be difficult to get the numbers together on the 19th, but let's see. But you know what? I said we are looking for players. At Ibis_football on Twitter and ibisfootballclub@gmail.com. The end of season Ibis do is actually May 10th. Saturday, May 10th is the Ibis end of season do. And so it's
big up to that one. That's on my brother's birthday.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Drew.
Because there's going to be an intra-club. There's going to be an intra-club friendly, and then we're gonna go out afterwards. So it's gonna be one of them ones. It's gonna be a good day. Actually, it should be fun. Oh my God! I know that's from Big T. What did Arsene Wenger, Barney the Dinosaur, and Gary Glitter pass around at dinner? A box of underage. That's terrible. That is terrible. And also Wayne in the Skype chat, let us know what position you play. And also, hey, if you could play most weekends, feel free to email ibisfootballclub@gmail.com for more information. We will be doing the whole player of the season, top goal scorer, and that as well. So it'll be one of them ones. All right. Well, you know what, Wayne? It's one of them ones. I said ibisfootballclub@gmail.com. Drop him an email. Just like Jamie Bailey did. Jamie, how did you find Tuesday's match against Polly?
Wait a minute. Sorry. I was quite surprised by the 3 goals that they scored, particularly from the fact that the first half was pretty good for us. And the second half could have got better. Should have scored about 10. And stuck with only 4. I kept on calling for one of the players to actually be dropped into midfield so that they didn't have to do so much work running. And yeah, Liam, you and your ways of persuasion is just none and void. If somebody has to persuade you to do something, it ain't gonna happen.
What do you mean by that?
I asked you to swap one of the players. And I'm not going to say their name because I don't think I should, considering private and confidentiality. I'm not going to. As far as I saw it, all you had to do was swap a right winger or a right midfielder into the central midfield and swap another player to go out wide, just to shore up the defense and shore up the midfield, and hopefully that if they don't have to do much running, all they've got to do is just take a pass from the defense, turn. And give it out to the wide players. That was the simplistic view that I had. But you said, "No, he's all right. Then you put him up front, and we got no goals. Now, as far as I'm concerned, is that good? Is that good for the team? Maybe. Well done. But you was told quite a few times, and it almost became like it was watching Wenger on the pitch. It was like, I ain't gonna make a change. I'm sticking to what I know. Don't even talk.
No, I'm not like that at all. What?
Oh, believe me, you was in that game.
It's one of them ones. I'm not. Wait. This one's trying to make out like I'm some sort of dictator or something. Raw. Is that raw?
Put it this way: when it comes to you having an opinion, nobody can sway you. I've noticed this, and I don't know if anybody else like G-Man or Mike or Jazzy Fizzle has ever even noticed this, but when it comes to a certain opinion, you won't be excuse me, you won't be swayed.
All right, G-Man, I want you to respond to that. Hey, however you feel right.
Well, to be honest, doing pitch talk, that's what we're about. I know Liam's got strong opinions, right. I've got strong opinions, and Gerald's got strong opinions, and I think when any of us believe in something, we're gonna keep it our way of logic and way of thinking. But when it comes to on the football pitch, I think Liam generally takes the stance that he's gonna do what he set out to do, and that's the role of a captain, isn't it? He's got to make those tough decisions. There's been times where, you know, we've had tit for tat on the pitch where Liam told me to do something and I've said something out of context, and then Liam's gone and said, well, go and put me back in my place, and then it's like, well, you know, but that's generally what you have to do. It's been there with other players, like it's happened with Jordan. You know, it's I just generally think it's his role. His role, your role, like, you know, you either do what's suggested or you don't, and then you face the brunt afterwards if it all goes belly up.
But here's the thing, if it benefits the team that the person might have to even come off, and yet you've given them the chance just to play out wide and it's not sort of working, do you put them up front just to put them out the way, or do you give them a chance to still try and put them in the position that they might need in order to play the game? As a person that just come back from an injury, and I was saying, instead of them having to stretch their legs, all they've got to do is just pass the ball. They haven't really got to move. The defenders have just got to find them and spread wide. Don't take that in any other context. Big T, you do not need to comment on that.
You know what? That's for me personally. That's a beautiful thing about football, because we all, you know, have an opinion of how things should go. Like there's been times I've even said like where I thought, oh, we should be playing 4-4-2 or something like that. There was one time where I was in goal and we went 3 at the back, and I was livid. I was like, no, I don't want 3 at the back, because we had. I'm on it for real. I won't name no names on this one, but we had certain defenders where I just didn't think were pacey enough to go 3 at the back. With the players that played on Saturday, because they were younger and fresher, I think definitely 3 at the back would work with them because they got the legs. But you know, but that's just opinions. And at the end of the day, again, this ain't no bum sucking or anything like that. As a captain, even when Brady was playing, you know, players had opinions with Brady. Yeah, Brady just used to do it his way. So
at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it's a role of leadership, and basically, and like I've said to many a person before, it's a case of if I fall on my own sword, then so be it. But the fact of the matter is, mate, it's one of them ones. I plan. I don't just turn up on the day with a plan. Like I plan stuff days in advance. So it's one of them ones. That's why I like to see how the plans go, and mod it how I see fit. Because if I took on board everything that everyone said, then we'd have no momentum at all. It would be an absolute mess. So that's the way I would justify that. But the fact of the matter is, you've also got to bear in mind, a midweek game, people are taking time out from their schedules, and especially on Saturdays as well, people are taking a whole afternoon. It's one of them was bringing someone on for 2 minutes and taking someone off. You can't do that to people. So
I didn't say anything about no. I didn't say anything about taking him off. I said just to swap his position.
Yeah, but that's what I did.
That's not taking him off.
Yeah, but that's what I did.
Okay, fair enough.
That's what I did. It's not as if I don't change things around when I see fit, but it's when I see fit. If I see something's working, then all right. But you got to give something time. You can't just keep switching and chopping and changing because it basically buggers over a formula. I mean with Polly, like I mentioned in my match report, it was one of them ones. I had hand right up top. And Rico at right mid, and then I switched that over. So it was one of them ones. I gave it a bit of time, and then felt that I needed to switch it over. And even with and also it was one of them was in midfield. Like I said, in midfield we originally had Maz as a centre back, but to get a bit more bite, I put him in midfield and brought on Saul Fitton, and had it like that. So
which seemed to work. Which seemed to work.
Yeah.
Well done.
But that was a change that I felt I needed to make. And of course, And of course, what I couldn't see from my vantage point, Gideon and Jordan helped me on the sidelines. So it was one of them ones. I mean, in terms of articulating your opinions, firstly, it's the way you do it. You've got to come correct. And secondly, if I see something to be true and something needs changing, then I'll do it. So it's one of them ones. I would do it when I see the need to do it. But as I said, a captain has to take responsibility, and whatever decision I make, I take responsibility for. If we get beaten, I'm not gonna blame anyone else. I'll take responsibility for it myself. So there we go. This is not no dictatorship, because a dictatorship would be like, no, I'm perfect, I can't do any wrong. No, it's not like that at all. It's far from that. It's far from that. Personally, I'd love to get the opinions of a few more players and see if they think the way you do. Because with all due respect, you have only been about for 2 games. So
you know what? I'm not. This is an opinion of a game rather than an opinion of 2 games or the way that you sort of lead something. And in hindsight, and I'm talking more on the suggestion of when there's been sort of like a conversation about something, it's almost like it's difficult to sway your opinion, or for you to see a different side of it. It takes a while for it to sort of get it to you.
I can see a different side of it.
But I'm not saying that you don't have. I'm not saying that your opinion is wrong. I'm just saying, in that game, at that time, I thought that we've seen how he was playing, and I thought if he's going to still continue on the pitch, it would have been nice just to see him sort of link up the play, because we didn't really have that in the midfield. But as you said, you did make that change and you brought somebody into that position in order to do that, and it actually worked to our advantage. Of course, the game was 1-4-3, albeit maybe a couple here and there scares.
It was one of them ones. I was going to ask you that at the end of the day, did we win the game or did we lose the game? And the answer is we won the game. But the fact of the matter is, criticizing individual players, I just see it as there's no need for it. It's positive reinforcement. That's the MO. Because at the end of the day, I said people are taking time out of their schedules to play for us. So I'm not gonna go out and criticize individual players every single week, because that's not how we do it. That's not how we do it in the fours. That's not how I do it. That's not how it was done in previous regimes. In the 7 years that I've been at the club, it's positive reinforcement. That's where we are. So if you wanna criticize individual players, that's down to you. But it's one of them ones. I'm not gonna come out and start criticizing my players, because
it wasn't really a criticism. That's where you're getting me wrong, though.
Well, it was. Well, in theory it was, but we're going off on a tangent. We're going off on a tangent
sort of,
now.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, two important wins, and that's the jack. That's the important thing. So it's one.
The question wasn't about whether I have an opinion on the players or whether I have an opinion on your captaincy. It was about what I thought of the games, which was the 2 games that I played. Ironically, the number 2 actually comes up again, and for all the reasons of pitch talk as well. I thoroughly enjoyed them, and for some reason I've made a save which was crucial to the game in both games, either side of the half, which was helpful to the club. So I'm hoping that if I do play again, I'm not going to I'm hoping just to keep the levels of playing going, and hopefully when it comes to playing for the Ibis, they'll be playing in the right league come the end of the season. For next season. So good luck to the Ibis 4s, and hopefully if I do get a chance again, then I will take it.
yeah, I mean, you will get another chance. That's for sure. Because we need a keeper. So we'll talk about that off air though. But as said, it's one of them was ibisfc.co.uk is the official website, at ibis_football on Twitter, and facebook.com/ibis.fc. And I'm not the dictator that Jamie makes me out to be. It's one of them was, I assure you of that. It's one of them was, just because opinion is not, what I will say is this in closing, just because opinion is not acted upon straight away doesn't mean it's gone in one ear and out the other. That's all I will say.